we're all set to take this forward. I see, there are a lot of attendees who have joined this already, and just give me a quick second here. Okay, so my name, by the way, is Mahav, and I work as a sales consultant with DBSync, and today we are here to give a demonstration of Salesforce and Microsoft Navision integration. Before we go and look at the actual demonstration, I would like to give a little background of DBSync. So as you can see on the screen, DBSync is an integration platform for SaaS and on-premise applications. And we were one of the first few companies to be incubated by Salesforce. And year 2016 has been pretty significant as we enter the Gartner Magic Quadrant for iPaas worldwide, and also as the niche players. As you can see, we also have quite a few awards, Top 100 Healthcare Where by CRN, and Trendsetter Award 2010 from Accounting Today. We are headquartered at Nashville, Tennessee, and we have our offshore locations in Bangalore, India, and also a couple of research and development stations at CA in San Francisco. If you have gone on the App Exchange, we are one of the niche players for Salesforce and NAV integrations. We are not just into accounting and CRM. We also integrate in different spectrums as well, not just into Salesforce as a CRM, but also into Microsoft Dynamics CRM for online and also desktop versions as well. And we have more than 550 plus customers till date. We are partnered with Salesforce. We are also Microsoft certified partners, also with Amazon Web Services, Oracle, Sage, and QuickBooks. So DBSync is to integrate cloud applications with other cloud or on-premise applications to basically increase data usability across your company. As picture speaks more than words, you can see here DBSync as an interface communicating with different applications. You can see, it speaks to CRM such as Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics CRM Online, desktop, and when it comes to accounting, it's not just with Navision but also with QuickBooks, Great Plains, and also database solutions such as MySQL, Oracle, DB2, PostGRE, and accounting such as Intact, like said, QuickBooks and Great Plains integration. Okay. So these are our customer base. We cater to all segments, SMBs, mid-size, small and mid-size companies, also to enterprise clients. Few of the enterprise customers that we have, or I would say Fortune 500 large-size companies such as Amazon, Philips, Scotia, and other few companies. Okay, so is your data usable? Now, the whole envision of using DBSync, is to communicate or is to integrate different data that you store in in many of the applications. Could be you'd be using a database to store your data. You'd be using a file or an FTP to store your data. Could be an Excel sheet or a CRM such as Salesforce, Dynamics or could be anything. So now, if you need to talk to all of these applications, you need a medium that integrates and syncs these applications in a real time, right? So so here's how DBSync role comes into picture, wherein it communicates or it talks to all of these applications, and through which you can build up dashboards, reports, and do an analysis that can help in terms of your business processes and also in growth segments as well. So like said, Orchestrate your data is basically again wherein all these applications will be communicating to each other. So any information you enter in one of the applications, DBSync can bring that information to the other application. Basically, it's a bidirectional sync. You can run the integration both the ways. Be it a database solution, be it an CRM solution or an accounting solution, you get to pick and choose how the data should flow between these two applications, and then the data would be, at the end of the day, you would see the information flowing in from all different applications. However, you can control the flow of data, as in what needs to be synced and what not. You would have full controls of that. So DBSync as an iPaas, you can build your own, custom integrations. We have a predefined template for, different adapters that we have in place. So, like discussed earlier, we have Salesforce adapter, Microsoft Dynamics NAV adapter, Great Plains adapter, different database adapters such as SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, and you can deploy it in any of the operating systems such as Windows, Mac, Linux, and Solaris as well. You can run your integration on-premise as well as on cloud. It's just if it's an on-premise application, it's just an Windows. You can send the integration as Windows as services, which will be running on your Tomcat machine. And as you can see, you can write your own rules, workflows, build your own app code, and schedule the processes on time interval basis. If you'd have to extend the predefined template or mapping, you can make use of a user guides, or take a reference of one of the processes and build your own integration. We can discuss about value proposition once we go through the demonstration. I'll hand over the controls to our engineer who's on the call as well, and he shall walk you through the demonstration from here, post which we can discuss about pricing and value proposition.
All right. Thanks, Ma. Good morning, everyone. This is Gopi here. I work as a partner channel manager and as a business analyst at DBSync, and I overtake all the partner trainings and take care of the customization and implementation side of things at DBSync. So to get started, as where Maha just left us about the product, how the basic products that we have, how do we interact with different applications that's out in the market. So today the topic or the coverage what we are doing right now is like how the integration can be set up and how the integration would happen between Salesforce and MS NAV. So as you can see our screen, this is our home tab of DBSync. So once you register with DBSync to connect with Salesforce and MS NAV, right? So this is the home tab as soon as you log into your account, and here you can see different tabs. On the My Home tab, you have the iPaas integration platform as a service, then you have the template library, and then you have the how to explore things and the documentation side of things. So I'll just quickly walk you through the tabs what we have. Once I click on the company tab, you can see knows about like what is the company details that you have registered with. Let me log in. All right. So here's the company information that you are registered with. You can see what is the properties of the company, what is the username, and so on and so forth, right? And then comes the user tab, where you'll get to know how many users have registered with DBSync for the same company or the organization. So by default, we give you access to one user. Like at the time of registration, you can have one user. Down the line, if you want to add more users to DBSync, you can request us and we can add more users from our end. And template library is a place where you get the standard or default templates what we have. As Maha described about different applications that we connect with. So we have standard templates built to connect with most of the applications. A standard set of mappings which would define the integration between two applications. So here you can see Salesforce and Great Plains, we have Salesforce and QuickBooks, we have Salesforce databases. So these are the templates which are pre-built and it can just be plugged into your DBSync account to make use of it and then get started with DBSync, right? So let's go back to Home tab, where's the place we can get started with. So to get started with the application or to use DBSync, all you need to do is just click on the Development Studio, and that would redirect us to the Projects tab. Projects are nothing but different set of templates or the projects that you can install or set up at DBSync. So here you can see the standard template which we have, which is built to connect with NAV and Salesforce. So under the project, if I go deep the next level into the project, you can see the processes which can be set up within DBSync. So as of now, we have one process which is set up for like pushing across Salesforce account to NAV customer. Before I get into the process and the details of that, I would like to walk you through the connection setup to connect with Salesforce and NAV. So first we'll talk about the connection, how it's going to happen with Salesforce. Right. So here's the quick setup what we have with Salesforce. So we can provide like a single sign-on, like we can just click on connect or disconnect from here on the quick setup, right? Or on the advanced properties, if you have a security token where we connect with the application or Salesforce instance for the first time, you could provide the username and the password and the security token. So if at all if you have proxy settings or any other details that you need to provide, you can click on the more properties to give in all the details. So once you save in the details and click on validate connection, you should get a pop-up saying the connections are valid. Right? So this explains how the Salesforce connection works. And then talking about the NAV, how we can connect with Microsoft Navision is these are the properties. So here you can see the username and the password, which is the login for the NAV system, and then the class path, and we have the base URL. So I'll quickly walk you through how we can get the details for the class path and base URL. Before which, I would have to explain you how do we get the class path or where we can define the systems within DBSync. So we have a process, or DBSync is set up locally, or we have the on-premise version what we are running to connect with NAV. So there what we do is on the on-premise version, which can be set up on the even on the cloud version, right? So they will have to do certain settings to connect with NAV vision system. Simple reason being, NAV uses different set of WSDLs. It can be the standard WSDLs that you come across, and also you can build the custom WSDLs. So this is a system what I have, a demo instance of NAV that we have. So here I'll quickly show you the WSDLs part where I can get the different WSDLs for each cards that we can use to connect with. Right. So under the web services, you can see the different WSDLs that we have to connect with different cards on the or in fact the WSDL that's been generated for each table. So the SOAP URL which you can see on the screen, so that is nothing but the URL which we get to connect with. So based on that, what we do is we create a jar file within DBSync. So why we need jar or why we need all this information? So to connect with NAV, what we are making use of in DBSync is we are using a different product line what we have called as the API code, where it generates or you can connect any system, any web services, which connects any web services, right, to build your own adapter. It's purely built on Java, where you can set up or create your own connector. Similarly, what we have done is we'll be taking the WSDLs from the NAV systems and generate a set of jars using the API code product of ours. So these jars will be set up in your DBSync account. In fact, the local installation or even on the cloud version of DBSync which needs to be set up. Right, so you can see the URL or the installation path where we have like DBSync, which has been set up locally on the C drive. So there we set up these jar files. These jar files are generated out of the API code app, where we generate these jars and connect with the NAV system. And the path, that is the sandbox, the class path which we saw on the properties of DBSync, that comes from the folder that acts as a plugin to connect with the NAV system. So here you can see the folder under your local profile, the app code, and then sandbox. So this is the class path where all the jars are located, and that's where we provide the class path here. So it can be any name, like it's just a folder that we create and dump all the jars that we need to connect with. And then the base URL. So the base URL we get it from the SOAP URL itself. So that's the first part of the URL. SOAP URL acts as the base URL to connect with the complete application or system. So once you provide this information, all you need to do is just click on validate connection to make sure the connections are valid. So once the connections are valid, the next place or the next process what we have to explain or build is the processes, what we do and what we connect with. So as the naming convention of this process what we have built, it talks about Salesforce accounts to NAV customer. So here I'll open this particular process and show you the things what it's been set up, right? And here you can set up multiple processes for each integration if you need to create invoices or sync products. So all these workflows which are defined within each process can be split as different process itself. So within one process I have all these workflows that has been set up. So as you can see on a screen, it shows the standard integration what we have between SF, that is Salesforce, and MS NAV. We push across accounts from Salesforce to create a customer, and then the products from Salesforce to create items on the NAV system, and opportunity and opportunity line items from Salesforce would sync down to NAV to create a sales invoice and of course the line items. So on the demonstration, I would like to show how the account gets created. So I'll walk you through a quick sample of the coding or the mapping, how it looks like within DBSync. So here you can see this is based, like our product is purely based on the ETL principles. Extract from one source and write into multiple destinations, and the transformation happens in the mapping screen. So here you can see on our screen the query builder, like what we are querying or where we are getting into. So the source is Salesforce for us, and the query states what are the information that we are pulling from Salesforce. So as you can see, we have hard-coded one particular customer or account in Salesforce just to pick one particular account to show you a demonstration. But whatever the condition, whatever the standard SQL query that gets executed within Salesforce console, the same query can be executed in DBSync. And once I click on the preview, you can see the record, how many records are ready to sync into MS NAV. So once the query is done, we talk about or set up the rules. So the target system here is MS NAV. Then what is the operation that we are doing? The upsert operation. And then what is the target node that we are connecting with? So this create customer is a function that has been built to connect with MS NAV system. Right. Those are generated out of the jars which we got from the WSDL. So if you modify the WSDLs or upgrade or customize your WSDL, in that case, we'll have to generate new set of jars every time. So let's run the sync now. I have one record that is ready to sync into NAV. So I'll click on this Run Now button. So this Run Now button would initiate the sync, and you can see this sync getting initiated on the console. There's another way that we can run the sync based on the scheduler. So we can set up schedulers within DBSync. So each process, the scheduler is based on the process. So each process, whenever it happens in the backend. So if you want to run the integration every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can set the scheduler as a cron job, or even like we have the user-friendly interface where you can just give the timeline and what is the repeat mode that you would like to set within DBSync. And then we have another tab, logs, where you can see the current logs that gets generated. So every time you run the sync, the logs would be generated, and you can see the complete history about what are the information that was queried from Salesforce, what information got returned to the target system. In this case, it's NAV. So you can check all the step-by-step process in the logs. So now we can see the sync is completed. So let's check the information in NAV. All right, so this is the customer that got created right now. I think we missed out on showing you the Salesforce side of things, how we track the information flow. We'll just show you how things look on the Salesforce side before we could refresh it. Okay, so this was the account that we had created for the demo, which says DBSync MS NAV, right? And we have the section which says NAV MS NAV info, where you can see the NAV ID, and if there is any error message or any error due to which the sync couldn't complete 100%, you would get an error message directly from the NAV system back to Salesforce. So now you see these two fields are empty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just refresh this page, right? So you can see the ID is getting updated. As soon as you get an ID, that is a status update back from MSNav as a confirmation that the sync has completed successfully. And the same thing reflected in our logs as well. And if there is no error, you get, or it's just a string value that we update saying account updated. So any modifications that you do on the Salesforce side will also get updated to the same customer based on the ID here. Alright, so this is the demonstration of the product. I hope it was helpful. So you can, if you have any questions with regards to the demo or anything that you would like to know, you can post us throughout this session on the chat window and we can get back to you. So I'll now pass the presentation to Maha uh, to talk about the pricing and the value proposition of the product.
Hey, thanks, Gopi. Thanks for giving the demonstration. I will quickly share my screen and talk to you all on value proposition and also the pricing. Okay, as you all can see, as discussed earlier as well, the whole envision was to reduce double data entry, and you enter information in one of the applications, be it Microsoft Navision or in Salesforce. DBSync has the capabilities to bring the information in the other application. It's just a matter of enabling the processes or scheduling the processes, and based on the flow of data, the integration will take place. And increase information sharing. So definitely, it'll be more or less a real-time integration. Could be if you have to give an example. Once you convert the leads to create an account and an opportunity, it becomes very easy for the sales team, to sync that information to Navision using DBSync. If I have to give an example of order to cash cycle, you convert the lead to an account, I have an opportunity and a line item, and you can generate any kinds of transactions in Navision, and that lets your accounting team know the status of what happened in Salesforce. So grow with your needs, built-in ETL, visual mapping, and process flow. I believe most of it was explained by Gopi, as in how we can extend the predefined out-of-box mapping, build your own custom templates. You just need to know what objects you have to connect with what entities. Once you know the source and destination, it's pretty much easy to build mappings. We have user guides wherein you can make use of, build your own set of mappings. If you don't have to be a developer basically to customize a solution, if a bit of background of writing simple SQL queries can help you build your own set of mappings as well and customize your own solutions. Like I said, support multiple Dynamics products as well, such as Great Plains, Sage, QuickBooks or e-commerce, other accounting apps or databases. So we do have different adapters and connectors available, not just one Spectrum, but we are into many other solution providing as well. And in-person support, we have we have a telephone support. We can send information through an email, or also a WebEx meeting can also be provided if needed. We can do a GoToMeeting session wherein we can for any issues in the software, you can just send us an email at support@mydbsync.com or support@avancare.com, and one of the engineers will reach out to you within a couple of hours, so 2 to 3 hours time, to help you resolve issues. If needed, we also can get on a GoToMeeting or a WebEx meeting to resolve the issues as well. So we have in-house accounting expertise, implementation consultants. As Gopi was one of the solution architects as well, who works on building custom integrations. We do have other certified engineers, who works day in day out in building custom integrations. We also have Salesforce certified, professionals who can work on Salesforce consulting as well. Okay, for any queries, concerns, you can just send us an email, sales@mydbsync.com. You have the contact number. You can reach us to LinkedIn, Twitter, or also on Facebook. For any videos, you can go to YouTube. We have all of our recent videos on YouTube, and also on our website, mydbsync.com. You can also watch videos for different integration solutions as well. Yeah. Before we end this, we would give you some time to post questions on the chat box. Either me or Gopi can, be glad to answer those questions. Yeah, sorry. There's a question from one of our prospects which asked for the pricing. So the pricing, we charge based on connectors, so Salesforce and Microsoft Navision connector. So it's an annual license cost wherein you get to use the predefined mappings. So Salesforce connector plus Microsoft Navision connector both put together is $7,200. That's the license cost. You get to use a predefined template or mapping within $7,200. If anything beyond, or if your requirements doesn't suit or meet the needs that are already available in the predefined mappings, then we have a consulting engagement services wherein we take up your requirements, build up a document which will have deliverables, timelines, and also a one-time consulting quote to build custom integrations as per your needs. But like I said earlier, if you have expertise at your end, or if you would like to customize a solution on your own, it's pretty simple and easy. We have user guides wherein even a layman can understand and build DBSync mappings. So the pricing again is $7,200 for Salesforce and Microsoft Navision connector, and the one-time consulting fee, if needed, if the out-of-box feature doesn't suit your needs, then we charge, it's all time and material. We charge on an hourly basis. So each hour of consulting is priced at $130 per hour. I repeat, each hour of consulting is $130 per hour. So within $7,200, we provide you free support and maintenance. We would not be charging anything additional for support. So this $7,200 is an annual recurring cost. Every year you need to renew the license by paying $7,200. But any consulting or service engagement is a one-time quote. So you can pay the 50% consulting to begin the project. Once we deploy, you can pay the remaining 50% of the consulting if needed. If not, if just the out-of-box feature suits your needs, then it will just be $7,200 for Salesforce and Microsoft Navision connector. Thank you. Okay then, so well, I don't see any more questions in the chat box. We'll sign off, and if any questions, concerns, you can reach out to me, maha.h@avancare.com or sales@mydbsync.com or sales@avancare.com. I can, if you'd want a, a demonstration, we can have a one-on-one meeting. You can just send us an email, and then or we can schedule a meeting if you would like to discuss in detail about your business process and know different ways and means of providing you a solution from our software. Then please feel free to reach out to us. My contact number is 650-249-6720. I repeat, it's 650-249-6720, and my email address, and I can spell that out for you: M as in Michael, A as in Adam, H as in Henry, A as in Adam, dot H as in Henry at mydbsync.com. Okay then, we'll look forward to hear from you, and thanks for taking your time and joining this webinar today. I hope this was a fruitful session, and we look forward to having business with you. Thanks a lot for joining.